Hi, and welcome to The Binger. Most actors would jump at the chance to appear in a Disney movie, but that isn't always the case. It's hard to imagine it, but there's been more than one occasion that an actor has turned down an iconic Disney role. From Jim Carrey as Jack Sparrow to Harry Styles as Prince Eric, Disney had envisioned including some fascinating actors in its films. And the result could have been quite different from the movie that we know. In this video, we're considering what might have been had these actors said yes to roles in live-action Disney movies. First up is one of the most famous cases of wishful thinking and casting run amok. There were rumors that singer and actor Harry Styles was Disney's pick to play Prince Eric in the live-action version of The Little Mermaid. Then, two movie theater chains, AMC Theaters and Regal Cinemas, posted tweets that claimed Styles had officially been cast. Except, they were wrong. In reality, Styles was offered the role but chose to turn it down, breaking the hearts of his legion of fans. The former One Direction member later said that the reason he'd passed on the role was that he'd decided to focus on music instead of acting. The interesting thing is that it's not entirely clear how close to a done deal Styles' casting really was. Styles only said that it was discussed. Yet, even if he didn't want to be in the live-action Little Mermaid, Styles' comments made it clear that he was excited about watching the movie, just like the rest of us. Today, we know Margot Robbie as a gifted, Oscar-nominated actor. But back in 2013, when she was just starting to gain international attention, she was one of the 3 finalists for the title role in Cinderella. She even went to London to test for the part. By that time, many other A-list actors had passed on the role. So the news that the field had been narrowed down to 3 finalists was a big deal. Ultimately though, it was Lily James who was cast. It's not entirely clear if Robbie was passed over for the role or if she had decided against taking it. It's possible scheduling conflicts were to blame. Still, it may have been for the best, because Margot Robbie has certainly gone on to do big things since then, like playing Harley Quinn. Anne Hathaway is another actress who is up for a lead role in a live-action version of one of the Disney classic films. Hathaway was offered the role of Alice in Tim Burton's reimagining of Alice in Wonderland. However, Hathaway turned down the role because she felt that she had already done something similar in another Disney film, The Princess Diaries. Hathaway was an established actress when Disney offered her the part of Alice, so she was able to propose an alternative option to the studio. She would be willing to appear in the movie as the White Queen. Hathaway's instincts were good. She earned a Teen Choice Award nomination for playing the White Queen, and she reprised the role in the sequel, Alice Through the Looking Glass. Ryan Gosling started his acting career with Disney. When he was still a child, he appeared on the Mickey Mouse Club for 2 years. Since then, he's gone on to build an acting career made up of a combination of crowd-pleasing and quirky films. One thing he hasn't seemed especially interested in pursuing, though, is mega-budget blockbusters. Still, that didn't stop Disney from offering him the role of the Beast in their live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast. Gosling turned down the role in favor of appearing in the smaller film La La Land. Gosling made the right call. La La Land went on to become an awards show darling and increased Gosling's profile as a skilled actor. Not to mention, even though Gosling is a great talent, we have a hard time imagining him embracing the role of the furry beast. Emma Watson famously covered the role of Belle in Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast. It was a part she wanted so badly that she pulled a reverse Ryan Gosling and turned down the lead in La La Land to play the character. However, Belle wasn't the first Disney princess role Watson was offered. Before Margot Robbie or Lily James tested for the role, Disney offered the part of Cinderella to Watson. She was reportedly in early talks about playing the princess, but ultimately the studios and the actress couldn't work out a deal. After securing the role of Belle, Watson admitted that she rejected the role of Cinderella because she didn't find her empowering enough. Watson felt Belle was a better role model and the character resonated with her values more. Watson had no idea that Disney was going to do a live-action Beauty and the Beast when she turned down Cinderella, but she made the best choice for her. Speaking of Beauty and the Beast, Angela Lansbury is known for voicing Mrs. Potts in the 1992 animated version of the story. She even sang the title song, Beauty and the Beast, in the film. Long before Disney's animation renaissance, though, Lansbury was considered for a different movie, 1964's Mary Poppins. In fact, Walt Disney himself was said to put Lansbury's name on the shortlist for his live-action film, along with Mary Martin and Bette Davis. Of course, it was ultimately then up-and-coming actor Julie Andrews who landed the role. However, Lansbury went on to play the balloon lady in the 2018 sequel, Mary Poppins Returns. It's pretty much impossible to imagine anyone playing Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies except for Johnny Depp. However, he was far from the only actor considered. In fact, it was another performer entirely that served as an inspiration for the character. Stuart Beattie wrote the original Pirates of the Caribbean movie with Hugh Jackman in mind. Jackman had recently become world famous for playing Wolverine in the X-Men films, and was the man that Beattie thought of as he developed Jack Sparrow. It's unclear if the role was actually offered to Jackman, but it seems he would have been Beattie's first choice. Jackman wasn't the only person under consideration for Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Another possibility was Jim Carrey. While Carrey definitely can summon zany energy to spare, it's hard to imagine the direction he would have taken the character. In the end, it was a moot point though, because Carrey was already attached to Bruce Almighty and the schedules of the two films conflicted. Also up for the role of Jack Sparrow was Michael Keaton and Christopher Walken. Michael Keaton may seem like an especially odd option for Jack Sparrow, but if you remember his work in Beetlejuice, it makes more sense. Disney was definitely going for the quirky take on the character and ultimately found what they needed in Depp's eccentric mannerisms. Will Turner was also a key character throughout the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean films. It's also become one of actor Orlando Bloom's signature roles. Yet Bloom wasn't always a slam dunk for the role. It turns out many Hollywood A-listers were considered. One actor on the list was pre-Batman Christian Bale. At the time, Bale was best known for starring in independent films. He no doubt would have brought an interesting interpretation to the character. In addition to Bale, actors like Jude Law, Ewan McGregor, Tobey Maguire, and Bale's future Dark Knight co-star Heath Ledger were considered. Ultimately, Bloom landed the role because of the star power he gained from his starring turn as the elf Legolas in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Today, Selena Gomez is one of the world's most famous pop stars, but she got her start starring on Disney Channel shows. So it's no surprise that the channel offered her the lead role of Mitchie in the movie Camp Rock. The movie would have seen her starring opposite the Jonas Brothers. Despite her place at the Disney Channel though, Gomez decided against taking the part, which went to Demi Lovato. Gomez hasn't spoken about why she passed on the role. However, Disney Channel President of Entertainment Gary Marsh said at the time that Selena Gomez wanted to build her acting base first. No matter what her reasons were, Gomez went on to have both an acting and a singing career. We know what you're thinking. Julie Andrews did play Mary Poppins. She even won an Oscar for the role. And you're right. But that was about 50 years ago. We're talking about the 2018 sequel Mary Poppins Returns, which Andrews didn't appear in. Apparently her absence wasn't an oversight. It was by design. Emily Blunt was cast as Mary Poppins in the sequel and Andrews was offered a cameo. However, Andrews graciously chose not to take it to avoid pulling focus from Blunt. According to the film's director Rob Marshall, Andrews worried if she showed up, it would be harder for Emily Blunt to make the role her own. What a classy move. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was produced by Disney, labeled Touchstone Films, and was a big hit for the Mouse House. The combination of live action and animation rolled into a madcap story made for a totally unique experience. In the film, Bob Hoskins' hard-boiled detective must help out famous toon Roger Rabbit when he gets into serious trouble. The pairing of Roger Rabbit and Hoskins seemed perfect, but Hoskins wasn't the first choice for the role. Producers were keen to find a big-name actor to play Valiant. One of their top picks was Eddie Murphy, and it sounds like he was interested in taking the part. However, things went sour when money was discussed and Murphy asked for more than the studio was willing to shell out. Murphy has since admitted he regrets passing on the film. Up-and-coming actor Halle Bailey was cast in the role of Ariel in Disney's live-action version of The Little Mermaid. Before that happened though, the project went through a lot of ups and downs, including more than one actor in the role of Ariel. One person who was offered the role but decided against it was Elle Fanning. Fanning clearly isn't against playing a princess in general though. She played Aurora in Maleficent, the live-action alternative telling of Sleeping Beauty. Fanning seemed to especially appreciate the way that movie turned the expectations of her character on their head. The live-action Little Mermaid appears to be a more faithful rendition of the original animated film. And maybe that's why this role was less interesting to Fanning. Will Smith has had a long, successful acting career. His most recent triumph was appearing as the genie in the live-action remake of Aladdin. Yet, before taking on that role, Smith was reportedly offered a role in a different Disney film. The actor was tapped to play a starring role in Tim Burton's live-action version of Dumbo. It's believed that the role would have been as HOLT FARRIER, a character eventually played by Colin Farrell. Smith seemed to be interested in the project, but talks eventually came to an end over the issue of money and scheduling. In particular, it seems Smith's commitment to the threequel Bad Boys for Life may have gotten in the way. Finally, there's Leonardo DiCaprio, Oscar winner, heartthrob, and respected actor with a slew of interesting movie credits to his name. Back in 1993 though, he was just starting out, and was best known for a stint on the sitcom Growing Pains. So it was a big deal when he was offered a lot of money to play the role of Max in the Disney movie Hocus Pocus. And despite having a lot of people in his ear telling him that he should strike while the iron is hot, DiCaprio ended up passing. Why? He was holding out for a role in the movie What's Eating Gilbert Grape. The movie could have been disastrous for the young actor. Fortunately, DiCaprio not only won the role in Gilbert Grape, he also earned his first Oscar nod for his efforts. Would you have liked to see any of these actors in the live-action Disney movies they rejected? Or do you think that Disney eventually got the casting right? Weigh in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to The Binger for more great videos. Thanks for watching.